Saint Hopi, I have fallen in wells and risen. Juan Felipe Herrera, Angeles. Juarez had run. Luther, don't think he had ever seen that mangy thing, so scared, just drop. Jawed and sick, tumbling over his own feet, seeing Luther step forward like that for sure. Expecting him to splash into the deep, give them a swimming lesson or something. Except Luther didn't. Vanish into no underneath. Just stood there, arms still out. Maybe even Luther had been afraid too. Because when the falling stopped, and quick too, when he didn't sink but an ankle's worth, Luther felt all of him, guts to nuts, go sinking so much deeper into real drowning confusion. And the next moment was no better. Like the only way anything could make sense was that everything was upside down. Kinda like when they first got here. Luther just dangling like he was about to drop into the storm below. Those piano graves too, all emptying up. Only that didn't happen either, and then Luther went from upside down to something worse. Like Luther wasn't Luther anymore, and nothing was lost, and everything was left, and there was still a chance to change not only his but every path. La neta que Luther had figured he'd just jump in. La Rana the leap, a lucky 54, fucking jaws his way across, and then drag the kid down. And what got them? Got Juarez yipping in tighter and tighter circles, Pia and Victor choking out Milagros, like here was so much more than GS shallowness. That's it. Fucking not enough. His big fucking miracle. Funny thing too is how it would have been one if Kid had had the stones to walk. Some sight that would have been. Luther would have laughed loud. Too like Lupita, like Juarez had started laughing, when he stopped spinning around like some wounded duck, finally getting the joke, how the chalky water wasn't even a fist deep, hole not even a hole. Then got back by Hopi, to see it up close, put his hand in, show how a last chance swirled to mud around Luther's feet. Luther had sloshed over then, grabbed the boy by the hair, like Lupita had grabbed her shorty that morning, by the roots. Only Hopi didn't put up any fuss. Just sagged, and Luther with little effort dragged him to another hole, not even dark. This one looked even shallower. Luther expected to hold the kid under, but Hopi just whispered "forgive me," and slipped into the deep. Then the surface glassed over. It wasn't until halfway back to the van, after they had all hauled up the rise down which they'd first come, when they saw the real miracle. Tweety's seeing it first. Luther will never forget it. Luther tries to forget it, gets another bottle, swallows the taste. Doesn't even know this taste. Sweet, but not too. Bitter too. But not too. No sharp to counter him, metal to charge him, not even remotely. Familiar. And worst of all, won't stay down. Afterward, Luther had cut out. Wanted was his crew. Close but knew how their laughs would lessen his work. No lessening. Not this night. Like Teo said, the higher you rise, the better they better remember you. Let them watch him distance off. But he couldn't even get to his cages, even if he came close. All set to kennel up with Tookie, Sendog, and Lord Gino. Curl up with his scarred survivors. Use a dish for a pillow. Sleep against the wire. Until he kept seeing Man-Boy charming his warriors. Luther drove to Lupita's instead. Could use some of that laughter. Old bitch knew how to... Oh. Then kept heading north. 210, 115 to where the antelopes play. 2 gates, 2 doors, 1 big room, space enough between the 2 for a third, both under silver gray polyester knit, which Luther always leaves on. Like he don't know by heart what waits sus. Chopped a full half-foot high-drop pneumatic pension, 320 in a straight 8 Frenched head. Lights, with 400 watts inside plus tuck. And roll. Naga hide. Just for extras, and that's just, for starters, his Roadmaster. 1951. The other is a 425 HP monster, with Mopar heads, acid-dipped frame, stainless chrome. Panels sharp as razors, 5-spoke wheels, dash and gauges restored, just for extras. Also, just for starters, his Fury. 1959. Get them going and they rumble enough to shake teeth loose, make souls doubt. To look at them though, that was something else. You could dive in, drown down there. Sure, Victor can go crazy under the hood. Did. The boost like he'll do the gears. Like that fucking Camaro of his. Sure, catch a sunny day, Luther would drive down to Dogs, let Rosario and Carmelita wash one with chamois and warm water, a little soap. Get their titties slick. They can tickle the exhaust pipes, put on a show. But when it comes to the outside for reals, rims to roof, suds to wax, Luther calls Zavaleta. Why else keep these babies up here? Here colors a whole other story. Shallows again. The history of the same thing over and over again, until it's something else. The Roadmaster floats on paint, base on base, coats of shade, polished for coats of clear. Hundreds, Luther likes to say, and no one doubts him. Electric tangerine and topaz. Pure sun. The fury disappears in paint, base on base, coats of shade, polished for coats of clear. Thou sands, Luther likes to say, and no one doubts him. Red star and purple, pure doom. Be some ranflas, strong and low, and when they out what they do, they hardly do. No need to. Just to idle there lets everyone know what needs knowing. Dares any fool to get close. And if not for Teo, the rain, these would have been at the Barris car show in Culver City today. Maybe Luther will call Zavaleta over tomorrow. Rain should be gone. Get the covercrafts off. Get these beasts pearly. Solo the Roadmaster to the shore, or to Lado Este with the fury. Out back, Luther watches the storm at last refuse its own fall. A new air stirring, clouds parting, giving way, even in warm May, to something icier, a shimmer of dark meaner. Then any storm. Another beer down. It will take more than beer to find sleep. Not that Luther wants to sleep. Something moves along his back fence. An animal awareness already gone when his bottle shatters against metal slats and chain link. Luther laughs, only to feel it again. That same awareness, except this time behind him, like it's inside. Gets all ripply up his spine, gets him charging back to his cars, like he halfway expects something to be sitting between them. Where Luther goes to stand, where he laughs again, like he's taking up station. But against, what? Still unable to shake how what's outside. What's inside don't matter. Luther's out of beer, so he takes every empty he can find and shatters them against his back fence. As if what's long gone away could now be even more chased away. But Luther still sees it. At the oaf expense anything else, forget cars, broken glass, whatever animal eyes dare look his way. Or man's. Luther fears no man. And certainly no man's laws. As he always says, I'm so against the law they haven't even written the laws I'm already breaking by just being me. Only this is different. As if there were a place beyond a place and even a thing beyond a thing that is equally against the law. And this thing has suddenly seen him. Like earlier when Luther had watched Hopi mumbling to Pia in the back of the van. Pedals mocked by count our calculators of love. Asters cannot count. Or later whispering, just once, forgive me, not save me or stop this. As if Luther could ever forgive what he could not know. Or last, and worst of all, after it was over. Return. Aimed to the van, Tweety stopping for no reason. Because he was tired, or just wanted to turn around because he too had sensed some awareness, though there was no awareness, not down there. Luther had been astonished. But something rougher than rust still got him biting down hard, and running back harder. So what if hairs on the back of his neck went stiff or under both pits, between his legs? Snaked a damp cold if Hopi wanted to die twice, then that was up to him. Not that this kid wasn't still surprising. Everyone. Luther slowed once, and then only to snatch up a shovel, metal mangled months ago in the tread of some cat. Not that St. Hopi's hands ever wavered. Almost. Like some pale steeple without bells, thrust out of The chalky deep one, never-ending prayer. Still against the sky. The second most beautiful Luther would ever see. Like Luther even gave a fuck as he swung the blade of the shovel down.